If you care about where your food comes from, you're going to want to hear this. Trump just signed an executive order basically ordering American companies to produce glyphosate. So glyphosate is one of the most commonly used agricultural chemicals. We've been using it for decades. It's already everywhere, and that's not why this is important. It's already being used everywhere. It's a potent carcinogen. It's an antibiotic, causes all kinds of gut issues, wipes out our microbiome. It's super toxic, super bad. It's already everywhere. 75% of the rainwater in the United States contains glyphosate. You're going to be exposed to it everywhere. Now, what does this executive order actually do? It basically grants immunity to these companies. It says it's for national defense. So for regulatory hurdles, for political hurdles, these companies are basically just being given all the justification they can get to use a bunch of glyphosate, to produce a bunch of glyphosate. So why does this matter? Essentially, the agricultural system is messed up. I just made a video about how organic standards are pretty much meaningless. Glyphosate is one of those things, actually, you can avoid by eating organic, but it's already everywhere. In order to get healthy food, you cannot be dependent on the grocery store, on organic food, on industrial agriculture. This is just an example of how absurd it is that we've been using this chemical for decades. We know it's so harmful. You're not going to be able to get healthy food by going to the grocery store. These companies are doing whatever they can to produce the most food, even organic food, even pasture raised eggs, things you find in the grocery store. These corporations, in order to survive, have to do things as cheap as possible. They're doing the minimum they can to get these certifications. Basically, I'm not a fan of certified food. I want to find food from a local farmer that has no certifications, that isn't doing the bare minimum, spending a bunch of money to get some label. You know how much it costs to get organic certified? I mean, they warn farmers like 3 weeks before they come to check up for organic certification, and then they stop spraying chemicals for a few weeks. The standards are meaningless. In order to get actually healthy food, you have to get out of this industrial system. Any kind of certification you don't want. You want to actually interrogate the farmers. You want to find farmers who actually care about what they're growing, and they're hard to come by, but there are some people who are doing things at a really high level, mimicking nature as much as possible, using no chemicals of any kind. And so I highly recommend, if you're eating animal products, go find local farms for dairy, for beef, for chicken, for eggs, where they're doing things at the highest standards. I have videos about what questions to actually ask these farmers. And also grow your own food. That's the thing. We shouldn't have these massive fields of corn and oats. In order to get our carbohydrates, we go get our oats from the store. There's this massive field sprayed by glyphosate, which, by the way, is a weed killer. So the only reason we're using glyphosate is to kill weeds. And a lot of crops are genetically modified to be resistant to glyphosate. So say you have some corn that is resistant to glyphosate, you spray the glyphosate, the corn lives, everything else dies. So it just kills everything else so that the corn can grow. It's this giant field. It's sprayed with chemicals. Why not just have fruit trees, vegetables growing everywhere we live? So highly recommend you grow your own food. I build food forests for people. Essentially, these are systems that are near zero maintenance. You're building a forest ecosystem. We can have them all around our neighborhoods, all around the city, all around where we live. And there's just food growing there. It's a much better way to get healthy food. You can't be reliant on the system of industrial agriculture if you want to get actually healthy food. This is just another example of how messed up it is. And that's the worst of it. Even the best of industrial agriculture, the best organic stuff, still sprayed with a bunch of other chemicals that are just not blacklisted by organic certification. So grow your own food, go to local farms, and find actually real food. When you have an experience of trying this food, it will feel different, it will taste different. It's a completely different experience. You'll never want to go back to grocery store food again, especially the wheat, the oats, these grains, the corn sprayed with glyphosate. The oats, they spray it to kill it so that they can harvest it. You're getting a bunch of glyphosate. What is the big deal? You have a giant field of corn. We spray it to kill the weeds. It's this whole massive swath of land that's being sprayed with glyphosate. All of our groundwater, all of the river water where we do industrial agriculture is completely polluted. If you look at the map, like I said, this is where cancer rates are the highest. And we're all eating the same food, but the people who live near glyphosate are the ones being messed up. So the fact that we're basically having an executive order that just states our intention, this is a matter of national security. This is the future of our agricultural system, is to be heavily dependent on glyphosate. Shows that this industrial agricultural system is so far from being fixed. You're not going to wait a couple years. There's some new regulations and you can get healthy food in the store. It's not going to happen. If you want healthy food, you have to take these matters into your own hands. And peace.